Okay. So good afternoon, dear learners. Today we are going to cover the unit 4.9 in detail on a diaspora investment and entrepreneurship. So this we have dealt in the last class on an overview of that. We are going to discuss it today in depth to know about how far the diaspora investment has promoted the entrepreneurship in the host countries as well as home countries. So that is our learning of today's class, and the main objectives of this whole unit 49 of that particular course is that to understand and understand the concept, or on the other hand, to conceptualize the diaspora in entrepreneurship, how this concept has emerged, and how the impact of globalization has contributed to diaspora investment in home countries, as well as promoting the entrepreneurship, and the on the another uh, track we also understand the government policies in encouraging the diaspora entrepreneurship, and we will also see some case studies and the major sectors of the engagement of entrepreneurship in India. So we will understand, as I have said, what is diaspora entrepreneurship first of all, and major classification of that, and diaspora entrepreneurs is different from the normal entrepreneurs, and how these investment opportunities offered by the Indian to its diaspora. So this is what the overall we are going to deal about today. So, differentiation of diaspora entrepreneurs from native entrepreneurs. That is the first thing we need to understand. This diaspora entrepreneurship, when we deal, it is use strong cultural ties and build networks, and foster trust and access unique resources. We see that people from the host countries are able to get connected with the home countries because of the language, ethnicity, and religion. So, for example, the caste system plays a role in India, and where they come from and everything. So they get connected mostly, and they are in the capacity to invest on entrepreneurial activity in the host countries. And as well as in the home countries. So they build networks very faster because of the improvement in the technology, as well as they have the amount in hand to access the resources, and they have good familiarity with host countries as well as home cultures, so that they build economic transaction quickly, as well as involve in this type of entrepreneurial activity. So first we understand the what is the history of the diaspora investment on entrepreneurship. Okay, so when it is in the recent years, due to the impact of globalization, there is a growing evidence of diaspora entrepreneurship in India that we have to understand. The main reason for the diaspora entrepreneurship, it is due to the impact of globalization. When we talk about globalization, we know very well that this globalization concept has emerged in 1990, 90s. Um, it has impact on the local market, and it is also impact on the global market, where we are easily able to access the various products. The monopoly system has been reduced. That is a global scenario of the impact of globalization. Much beyond that, the diaspora also, the diaspora entrepreneurship also has emerged with the extension of transnational networks. When you speak about transnational networks, people are able to get connected wherever uh, they are. Uh, they may be far away, they may be working in different countries, but they get connected. because of this globalization, because of the impact of the technology too. So the diaspora integration towards home country started becoming more and more familiar with a regulatory change in Indian government foreign investment policies. So this also impact on the changes uh, in policies in India. So in post 1990s, because of the globalization, the market is open for everyone. The liberalization process created an environment of diaspora entrepreneurship. So liberalization, privatization on the other hand, and the globalization, where uh, the diaspora entrepreneurship in the service sectors has boomed. When you say the service sectors such as information technology, education, infrastructure, are very high. Even for example, healthcare, they are able to invest money on it. And the expatriate communities are playing an important role. Means that the skilled uh, workers, that professionals, doctors, we also understood various association were formed, like doctors association, physician association in US and in Canada and everything. These people who are highly professional, earning a lot of money in foreign countries, are able to invest more money on the sectors like information technology, education, infrastructure, and healthcare. So they are able to bring a bilateral trade between the host and home countries. So that is a success of this impact of globalization and privatization, liberalization in the market. And when you speak about diaspora entrepreneurship, it is refers to the development of business by immigrants who are in a position to take advantage of diaspora policies and organizations. That is very, very important. So they are in a position to take these policies, uh, the advantage of the policies, the advantages of the program of both the countries, and they are able to invest. So money is on the other one hand, they are able to invest, and the other hand, understanding of the various policies of the host and home countries also plays a vital role, where this can be done by the professionals, or the those have the much understanding of the politics and government policies, programs, and economic system, understanding the economic policy and everything, so that the semi or unskilled workers are not able to be part much on the promoting the entrepreneurship, because they need to understand the various nomenclature of the uh, business and everything. And so diaspora entrepreneurship is an important component of diaspora studies. So while we are studying the diaspora, we need to understand and know the various pathways which are related with the diaspora studies, the diaspora. So when we are studying the diaspora studies, it is very important to understand how the diaspora entrepreneurship is part and parcel of our program. So we learn to also understand uh, how these people are making entrepreneurial activities in both host and home countries. So we have a lot of examples. The tech companies, people are well connected, and STL, for example, Bosch. These are the certain type of companies where they have globally has network. So Indian diaspora is spread across the globe with its presence in almost all countries in the world. So, and we also discussed that. So from colonial period to now, in the era of globalization, after the 21st in the 21st centuries, we were able to send people in the colonial period only the skilled, semi-skilled workers, or skilled workers. Now we are, sorry, semi-skilled or unskilled workers. Now we are able to send the skilled professionals as uh, immigrants to other countries. So Indian diaspora today not only spread across the globe, the people who we are sending also is different. So Indian traders, entrepreneurs, travelers, and religious missionaries have been trading overseas since the beginning of the third century, especially to Southeast Asia and the east coast of Africa. So was the beginning of the third century where people are traveling. So the people who traveled are the entrepreneurs, travelers, and missionaries. And in comparison to other diaspora, the Indian diaspora has some unique features. What is the unique features? Where there is probably no other diaspora in this world which has such an extraordinary diversity amongst its migrant population. So when you take China or any other countries of Asian nature, when these people are migrating, there will be a common nature in those who are migrating, maybe for business or some skilled or something. But Indian diaspora system is different because we Indians or have a lot of verticals when we go to countries uh, abroad, because like people from religious perspective, people from entrepreneurial, people go as a travelers, people go as Indian trade and religious perspective, so on. So even the semi-skilled and unskilled workers, so these diverse in terms of ethnic, linguistic, and religious groups are found in India itself. Because we are diverse in nature, first we have a language where we have people are going the different language we speak, and we have different culture in terms of religious practices. And so based on the diversity or the geographical diversity, our interest of on working also will be different. So these are the different aspect of people go abroad. So the ethnic members of diaspora therefore carry with them with the tradition, different customs, practices, values, and beliefs. So that is one thing we when we across the globe, when Indians are present in the countries, they see that Indian people are have diversity in nature, all right, which is not typically from possible in some other countries, because their language is same, their culture is almost similar, not like India. So the ethnic members of diaspora therefore carry with them the rich tradition of different customs, practices, and beliefs, and they even practice that in the host countries. So when we look at the diaspora entrepreneurs, they differentiate themselves from native traders through some specific characteristics. So the diaspora entrepreneurs use strong ties of religion. That's very, very important. We practice, and our religious values also being practiced in our business, right? So we worship, that itself is different in nature from when we do it in US or something. The language and ethnicity to unite themselves, and those ties usually play a major remarkable role in social, cultural, and intellectual, as well as economic characteristics. So it is very simple. When a person goes abroad and start a business and want to do entrepreneurial activity in their host countries, they definitely seek a person from the particular state. For example, if from Bihar a person goes, he will seek a person from Bihar. The same, a person speaking Bihari language or any other language, and particularly in that caste group, or sometimes that ethnicity plays a role. So these are play a role when a person goes abroad and want to invest certain amount for entrepreneurial activity. Sometimes, if a Christian goes and seeks for look for a Christian community and a language. If a Tamil person goes, look for a Tamil person who correlate with him, probably from his village or from his town, or who has is a belong to a same caste or religion, something. So it is very simple that these diaspora entrepreneurs use strong ties based on this similar characteristics. And so diaspora members are often more willing than non-diaspora investors to take risk in standing or engaging business in activities in high risk or emerging markets. As I have said, see, these diaspora members are often more willing. Why they are often more willing? Because they have enough uh, wealth for investment, and they have enough knowledge to face the consequences of it and take any risk if possible. Okay, because entrepreneurial characteristics, you see, they should be a risk bearer. They must, if any risk occurs, any loss occurs, they must bear it. They should take a responsibility of it. How they can take responsibility? Because they should have some asset to take care of that. So diaspora members are often willing than non-diaspora communities, because when you see these characteristics of diaspora members and non-diaspora members, the problem is with the money, the investment. So the diaspora members are able to invest and able to be the risk bearer of the business. So it is possible for them, but they want to take a trustworthy person to be in the host home countries, because so that they seek the the uh, the same place, or they tie up with ties of with the religion, language, and ethnicity, because they are united by that. So in Indian context, we can broadly differentiate a kind of three types of diaspora in Indian entrepreneurship, which is in Indian context we can differentiate that. So the first category is a voluntary diaspora. We can see in such as in Gujarati, and they take voluntarily uh, uh, business. We see that the people of Gujarat are well versed in business. So they have a lot of skills, because they are there. We can say it's innate by birth. We can say that they are business minded. They have the characteristics. So they voluntarily involve uh, voluntary diaspora, such as or voluntary entrepreneurship, we say, is that they involve in entrepreneurs voluntarily, who are because they are all historical traders from their homeland to different networks. So second category, we say it's of diaspora entrepreneurs, or labor or colonial diaspora, who went from India to as an as a indentured labor, or later on got settled there. So that is a second category, diaspora entrepreneurs. So they go and they are settled, because during the colonial period they went as an intended labor, means that they are sent as a kind of we cannot say the term slave, but they have some debt or something like that. They were forced to go, and these immigrants acquired resources in their host land. So during course of time, they are uh, able to secure certain land there, or certain business there. We say that na, in the construction field, if you know, some people will go as a, you say it's a low labor in kind of low grade in construction work. They will be as a person of till they die. They will be there in that particular work itself. They just carry bricks, and they will till do. They won't upskill themselves. But there are some people where they go as a labor and they get upskill, then they become the master of it, and they will get some 10 or the 5 people under him or her, and they will do the construction work. So it is all acquiring the knowledge. So these intentional labor, when they go abroad, when they forced to go, they just go because of some debt or something, but they acquired resources in their hostland, means that they have learned certain skills and become earn some money, and be part of that hostland economy. So they were able to do that some kind of entrepreneurial expansion. So this type of labor entrepreneurial activities called diaspora entrepreneurs. And the third type is skilled migrants from India who migrated from to uh, various developed nations as a healthcare or IT professionals, mostly in 1960s. So voluntary diaspora to second category of diaspora entrepreneurs to now the skilled migrants. This type of all these categories are professionals. As I have said earlier, we are able to India is able to send a lot of professionals from starting off the year 1960s, where doctors, uh, physicians, nurses, lecturers are being sent. and engineers, IT professionals mostly. IT professionals are mostly sent from 1960s, and these distinctive categories clearly reflect the influence of culture in the diaspora entrepreneurship. So it's very, very important to understand the various types, first of all, the in the diaspora entrepreneurship activity. And the culture cannot be seen as a supplementary factor in an entrepreneurial process. Rather, it's a big factor in entrepreneurship. Culture plays a vital, very, very important role in shaping the entrepreneurship activity. So they heavily influence the diaspora entrepreneurs worldwide to participate in their homeland with a complete reflection of cultural embodiments. So when you say culture, it talks about their practices in terms of worship, in terms of religion, in terms of language, in terms of even the marriage system, uh, particularly caste. Okay, so this all plays a role when they see as a when they develop the entrepreneurial activities. It is one of the big factor when you say in production, you say land labor and everything. When we say this kind of entrepreneurs, diaspora entrepreneurship, this culture also plays one of the factors as like the land labor, wealth, and everything. So when with a complete reflection of cultural and business entrepreneurship activities is shaped. Okay, when you say entrepreneurship is one way very important process serving the development of a society. So when we see the three categories, so how why it is important? It is serving the society. How it is serving the society? Because they are able to invest. The society with its interaction to other groups or society and the process of exchange of goods is itself the start of entrepreneurial ideas. So we start exchanging the goods and services. So entrepreneurs can be seen as an economic functionary who forecast the wants of the consumers and lead to two kinds of income. First, it's a contractual income that they get wage and rent, and residential income of the entrepreneurs, which is considered as a profit. So these entrepreneurs involved in the exchange of goods and services, especially goods. So it's society is involving in it, and it is kind of serving the people. All right. So this entrepreneurial activity, because it encompasses uh, the development of the host countries as well as the home countries. So they are serving both way, and they are able to invest the surplus amount again to the profitable manner. So we have to see the various aspects of these entrepreneurs. So this entrepreneur activities can be seen as an introduction of new goods and quality of a good, an introduction of new methods of production, and new opening of new markets, and supply of raw materials and intermediate goods. So we people uh, fully on information technology, IT fields now booming. When it's booming, there are a lot of people invest on entrepreneurial activities. So this in general entrepreneurs can be seen as innovative industrial leaders. So these are the broad understanding when we talk about the conceptualizing the diaspora entrepreneurship. We must understand how the diaspora had spread across the globe, how this Indian diaspora is unique. When you say unique, we are unique because we have a diverse Indian diaspora across the globe. That is the first thing, because we are uh, difference in terms of language, culture, practices, and everything. Even though we are considered as Indian, uh, and we have this diverse, extraordinary diversity, we can say, in terms of that. And when we are conceptualizing or understanding the concept of diaspora entrepreneurship, we must understand these. Uh, there are different types. That is a voluntary diaspora, and diaspora entrepreneurs, and skilled migrants diaspora. So these are the three types of diaspora that we have to understand. And as a common understanding of the entrepreneurship is very, very important, because it's a serving. It's kind of a service, and because they are able to invest the amount what they have surplus and they are able to boost the economy of the both the countries in terms of when we consider host and home countries, and and they are all innovators, and they are all risk takers. When you take in terms of risk taking, the diaspora entrepreneurs are much ahead of taking the risk and everything when you compare with the non-diaspora people, because they have the capital, and they are able to understand the various policy frameworks better to when they are starting the entrepreneurs, so they are able to face this kind of risk associated with that. So the field of entrepreneurship is centrally concerned with the understanding how opportunities are bring into existence. And so when you talk about the diaspora necessity entrepreneurs, that is also very, very important aspect. Uh, so when we talk about this diaspora necessity entrepreneurs who opens uh, sorry who opens a business for survival. It's a person self-employed by default. So he opens whoever opens a business is a self-employed by default and concentrates in petty trade and personal services. And that type of diaspora necessity entrepreneurs, and you cannot create many jobs for necessity purpose, right? For just want to do a petty or small tailoring or whatsoever. It cannot many jobs. In many cases, barely make enough feed to the family. So the necessity entrepreneurship is largely operated by returning migrants. So when they return from as a migrant, they start. Uh, Necessity entrepreneurship is largely operated by returning migrants. So they work for some time there, they return from there, and they start their business. But this type of necessity entrepreneurship, okay, which is started by the returning migrants, cannot serve much, because they themselves self-employed. For example, kind of business they start, they buy two car and they start running a kind of taxi or something like that, become an entrepreneur. Or they will start, they build a big kind of how to say a building, and they rent it for the marriage and everything. So these are the necessity entrepreneurs. They cannot employ much people here. They just start a business, and because they have much wealth uh, to start it, so they have a petty amount of income, and based on that they will survive. And the greater number of necessity entrepreneurs may not correlate with the higher level of economic growth. That's what we should understand. And in fact, the abundance of necessity entrepreneurs may suggest the exact opposite, that individuals are setting up their own business or working for themselves because then I cannot find opportunities in the labor market. So they return from there, and they have huge amount, then they start a business. Okay. So these unskilled immigrants normally do it, and our returnees who establish their own business mainly out of necessity have different networking opportunities and approaches to start a business than a high skilled immigrants with business experience abroad. So so what happens? Uh, the difference between the unskilled and skilled migrants is the same. So they come back and they start a own business, and they themselves employed, and there are one or two will be employed there, and they will start. Whereas skilled migrants, they have business experience abroad, and they start doing that the same business, and in a very successful manner in the homeland. And those running business that require little education and low startup cost usually work in sectors that are oversaturated with competitors and have razor thin profit margins, thus making social capital extremely important for survival. So here, these people who are uh, migrated from who are come back with a skilled experience, like people worked in the Silicon Valley or city of London, for example. They come with a lot of experience because they did the trade over there, like a voluntary, we have seen this voluntary entrepreneur from Gujarat or somewhere, and these people are able to start the business in their host plant with having a low amount of investment and everything. While self-employed can create the value of entrepreneurs and any employees they might have research shows that necessity entrepreneurs has no effect on economic development. So these necessity entrepreneurs, we should understand the necessity entrepreneurship means who just start a entrepreneurs because by force or by need they should start. So they start and they get themselves self-employed. For example, buying a taxi or a car and be a taxi driver for his own car and and entrepreneurship. So another, the the people who are professional, who had a lot of experience trade, and they will start a business, and they employ the human capital or social capital is high. And what this research shows that the necessity entrepreneurs has no effect on economic development. That is a hindrance is there. So at best, it reduces or avert unemployment and enables people to support themselves. So one thing this vast necessity entrepreneurship has impact is that it reduces unemployment, we can say, because they themselves get employed, or one or two in the family or the neighbors, or he can able to deploy some people in his job. For example, big construction work, and they have rent it for some other purpose. So for accounting purpose, they employ someone. So it will not impact much beyond that. So this is the uh, condition when you are this is the scenario when we are understanding about the diaspora entrepreneurship in the aspect of diaspora necessity entrepreneurs, and they are more different, characterized wise, and investment wise is they are differ from the people of high skilled immigrants who start the business. So diaspora opportunity entrepreneurs, so these are the entrepreneurs are filling gap in the economy. That's not like necessity entrepreneurs. So diaspora opportunity entrepreneurs, when we talk about, they are filling a gap in the economy and introducing new forms of production. And the person is contributes substantially for economic growth and often create jobs outside the family. So these are the diaspora opportunity entrepreneurs. So these entrepreneurs are much more likely to have positive impact on economic development. What the reason is that first, because they are able to invest much on that, because they are skilled, the first one, and as we discussed, they have wealth to start a business in a huge level, and they are able to due to wealth they are able to employ people outside of their family, but not of if not an initial level but a later level they will do it. So opportunity entrepreneurs are much more likely to have positive impact on economic development, because they are able to employ people. Their economic the service they do through the entrepreneurship is high, so the activity is high, so they are able to have a positive impact on economic development. So the thing is, when you say skilled individuals, for example, uh, uh, a physician or an engineer work to abroad, start a business here, takes a lot of construction works together, and in his locality or in his town, start a construction unit where people go and do an engineering job for construction and everything. So they will start employing many people. So the opportunity entrepreneurs are much more likely to have positive impact on economic development. So it is because of these skilled individuals who specialize in high demand and rapidly growing sectors of the knowledge based on economy can create huge economic opportunities and profits for business then and their countries. So because these skilled individuals, by their education or by their skills, they understand the current scenario that is going in the market, right? Whereas it cannot happen in the necessity entrepreneurs, because they are enforced to start it, but forced to start because they want some jobs and they want to cannot be part in the labor market, local labor market, so they start a business to employ themselves. But here, the skilled individuals are having the passion of starting an entrepreneurship. So due to that different, they can create a huge economic opportunities and profit for business and their countries. Even those with little education but strong business skills, many perceive and take advantage of market openings. So that this is a learning. They have equipped their skill, they have upskilled, so they are able to do it, even though their education is not that good, that to the mark, but they are able to have a strong. They have the capacity of start a business because they have perceived a lot of skills and they have improved their skills. So the roles of diasporas in developing knowledge based on sectors in China, India, Ireland, and Israel are now well known. So people in India are engaging in diaspora activities, and they have provided venture capital and connections, and trade networks to facilitate technology and knowledge transfers and pioneer development or of their origin. So they involve in these knowledge transfer and all those things. So there are four types when you say the transnational migrant enterprises. One is a first is considered as a circuit firms. What is this circuit enterprises is all about? It is a archetypical transnational business venture because they sustain a flow of tangible and intangible resources between the country of origin and its migrant settlement. So it's a circuit firms because they are able to take the tangible and intangible resources, which is movable and unmovable, from the circuit firms, and they start sending this to. And migrants sustain regular contact with relatives who settle back and send letters such as the precious package. So from the small and informed beginnings, later proved as a complex multi-million-dollar service industry. So this is called a circuit enterprises, include informal and formal courier agencies for the delivery of money, products, and people using a variety of methods to household and business in home and host countries. So they just might circuit the things to through involving in Korea and all those things. It's the kind of things. So cultural, when you say cultural enterprise, can be seen as a transnational enterprise because of their role as promoters of national identity among migrants. So these are called cultural enterprises. So you see sometimes the Indian kind of what to say, those who are in the field in movies or thing, cinema, we say that now. So they go abroad, they will be taken some other countries, like people go to Malaysia, Singapore, and US, and they will do all kind of host telecasting or showing some shows will be happening there to have the to build the cultural things. So the cultural enterprise include both ventures that produces and distribute homeland-based mass media and such as newspapers. So that is another thing. So they buy and do that type of business and TV programming and distribute homeland-based food items and everything. As I said, when I was in Zambia, there will be in one of the African countries. While I was working for 2 years, you go to some place, a small marketplace. I forgot the name. But if you go there, you get all kind of pickle items, all sort of Indian cuisines there. The reason is, even though it's an African country, there are a kind of small number of group in that particular city who are from India. So they have all kind of items which you get a pickle, a small pickle dabba or box, which is 20, 50 or 100 rupees here. You have to buy it there for 1,000 or 1,500. So that is the business they do it. So it is you see this type of activities is in US, Singapore, even Malaysia and everywhere. Malaysia has a small town is called, they called consider that as a mini India, where you go there. and you find all only kind of Indian products, sarees, and everything. So most of these entrepreneurial activities use cultural networks in the home country, where reliability issues tend to be solved through cultural relationship. So these are called cultural enterprises. So you have at the same time ethnic enterprise, where you have ethnic enterprise include a range of small business ventures located in immigrant neighborhoods and employ exclusively homeland-based products that cater broadly ethnic following. So retail commerce, beauty shops, auto mechanics, and everything. So given the larger concentration of Indian worldwide, ethnic enterprise sector is more vibrant and diverse. So while many ethnic enterprise depends on the steady supply of regulated and unregulated imports from their homeland, business maintain transnational supply network. So the ethnic enterprise is something where unique you get it here, and that is being sold in the hosting land. So this is the ethnic enterprises. So and you have a written migrant enterprise, which the fourth type of transnational enterprise is a business venture of written migrants located in their homeland. We have seen that necessity entrepreneurs. So first, if it is they have to start an enterprise, they are forced because they're jobless. They start small business. That's a necessity entrepreneurs. But we also know that there is a opportunity entrepreneurs. So these written migrant entrepreneurs, for necessity they start and or offering. So the most common type of return migrant micro enterprise includes they start a school, hospitals, infrastructure investment, hotels, restaurant, and all those things. In my village, the in my village where people they go and work in Singapore for a few years, and they start a business. Mostly they start a business of establishing a hotel, because restaurant, and because and they involved in it. They will employ a minimum of 5 to 6 or 7 people there and start a business in their home place. So and so the return migrant business ventures depend on the transnational links and flows of their investment capital. So the capital is there, and human capital, maintenance cost, and expansion capital. So they earn lot of they earn money, and they keep it as that, and they put all those things into their uh, enterprise. And typically, the idea of return migrant enterprise originates with the migrants' cultural and labor experience in the host land. So, and they might have worked 5 years in the hotel in Malaysia or Singapore, and they started here. And so, all sort of things you find. You go in Singapore or Malaysia, a lot of barber shops or beauty parlor are run by Indians, where they use that skill, and investment and capital comes from the migrant personal savings. So some of these those ventures in India are, you find Apollo Hospital and LV Prasad Eye Hospital. These are the examples of this the return migrant enterprise. So this understanding of the entrepreneurship. On it's a conceptualizing part, we should understand how this as the spread of entrepreneurship is. So I'll just brief it what we have learned so far. It is to understand, we have understood what is entrepreneurship, and how this uh, my the diaspora community is typically uh, diverse in nature, high amount of diversity in nature, extraordinary diversity when we look into the Indian diaspora people. And the types of diaspora entrepreneurs we differentiated with kind of three types of diaspora. Voluntary diaspora, we have taken the example of Gujarat people and Sindhi people, and we have the indentured labor who settled there and start their business in the host land, and we have the skilled migrants entrepreneurship. And diaspora entrepreneurship, when we are talking about it, we must also understand the the strong ties of diaspora based on religion, language, and ethnicity. That is the one thing we need to understand. And entrepreneurship is the concept of entrepreneurship, and it is a serving the development of the society. That is, we need to understand. And entrepreneurs can be seen as the economic functionary. And we also learned on the attention of cultural entrepreneurship is especially important, and diaspora necessity entrepreneurship and diaspora opportunity entrepreneurs. So diaspora, when you talk about diaspora necessity entrepreneurs, it is just for themselves to employ, they start some business, but it will not contribute much on the economic development of the country. But we can say this, it's contribute to reduces the unemployment and enables people to support themselves. That's the one uh, uh, strength, we can say, of this necessity entrepreneurs. When we talk about the diaspora opportunity entrepreneurs, these are the entrepreneurship started by skilled or professional diaspora community. We have different types called circuit firms, cultural enterprise, ethnic enterprise, and returns to migrant enterprise. So these are certain type of entrepreneurship falls under the diaspora opportunity entrepreneurs. So when we talk about the other perspective of uh, the diaspora investment and entrepreneurship in the eyes of globalization, very very important. This globalization, the concept of globalization has much impact. We can say that on investment and diaspora, investment and entrepreneurship. Why? Because this globalization is made a pathway, made open the people to invest. The people from various countries can invest and open the market in India. The same way, India can also start a business or entrepreneurship in other countries. So this made a uh, huge impact on the diaspora investment. Imagine before 1990s where this type of there is no possibility, people just earn and save, even they form a diaspora community, but people now able to invest their money on their in the host land to start a business or their homeland to start a business. So the market is open due to globalization, and additionally there's liberalization and privatization uh, played a vital role. So when you talk about this impact, this diaspora integration with the home country is not a new concept, but dramatically enhanced after globalization and increased the cross-border entrepreneurial activities. So people are able to start a business, and the countries with high levels of diaspora entrepreneurship tend to have promising prospects of economic growth, and proactive diaspora engagement policies, good governance, and socio-cultural perception of entrepreneurship as a mass uh, change and critical of the social capital and accessible of financial institution and pools of capital are taking place after the globalization. So, but the attraction of diaspora needs to be addressed properly by the government of the homeland through different relaxation and initiatives, which is needed even right now, and which can further lead to homeland development. So, what is this? The case of Silicon Valley. When we say we when we are understanding the impact of globalization, we say that in 1960s, especially after 1990s, the Silicon Valley has been an attraction of knowledge migrants from all over the world. Because of its this trend, it soon became the place where multiculturalism is part of daily lives of that people. So here, this where the increasing demand of IT professional in America, Silicon Valley attracted peoples from around the world, including Indians and Chinese, British, etc. migrants, many of women who recruited directly from different countries by rapidly growing technology firms. So the Silicon Valley needs the people from the IT sector. So it has taken a lot of people from other countries. So making available their knowledge, skills, and experience in addition to their financial resources. So how it happened? It because of the globalization perspective. So Indian immigrants have been coming to US in increasing numbers since 1970s. So H1B1 visa in the state government, engineers are given more H1B visa. We know what is that is all about. So, so we have lot of increasing demand for IT professionals, and it has boomed from 1960s it started, but after 1990s, its impact, the globalization impact on the case of Silicon Valley is remarkable. And people are being recruited directly from different countries, and the investment and everything has changed. And this has impact on the present development of innovation in diaspora entrepreneurship for the homeland, such as the use of business enterprise to promote sustainable development. So written diaspora and entrepreneurship has taken place after this, which is the impact of this globalization. So here, only about 10 new arrivals from one of the three countries, that is US, and Australia and Canada, from China, and they make up 22% of college educated new arrivals. And we see that written diaspora is not only denoting a physical presentation, written diaspora, but it can be through the knowledge processing and entrepreneurial networks between host and home countries. So this written diaspora, it is it is bringing the setting the knowledge gap and the entrepreneurship networks starting with written diaspora. So we need to know that as in the current global scenario, where most of the developing countries markets are still working uh, with the mindset of the people of those written diaspora, and the ecosystem, and based on collaboration between firms and universities and research institutions are high. So we say that the impact of globalization in a very brief manner, we say that it has impact on the starting the business, because there is some kind of freedom through policy of the governments to invest in their host and home countries. And due to that, there is a collaboration that taking place from firms. So the firms are able to, the industries are able to collaborate with various other organizations across the universe, as well as in a slightly we see that a lot of educational tie-ups or memorandum of understanding or whatsoever takes place. Universities are tying up with foreign universities. They start running a program, and joint ventures, they are giving a dual degree. So the degree, when we are doing a kind of masters, there is a dual degree concept has emerged. Now, when a student joins, he gets a degree from Indian university as well as from foreign university when he or she finishes the course. So there is a tie-up which has pushed people to involve in research and development aspect also. So tie-up with the financial institution that takes place. So the impact of globalization, not we have to see uh, in terms of kind of investment perspective, as well as not only investment. When we talk about investment, it's not only with money investment or entrepreneurial activity, but also building the knowledge, sharing the knowledge, like research and development and between firms. They start conduct a seminar, conferences. They start a business. In medical field, it has done a remarkable change in medical field, because people are able to invest, people to share their knowledge in the medical field. And because we even we have understood the importance of that in during COVID-19. So people in the medical field are able to contribute, they're able to get connected, they're able to, the diaspora community has done a remarkable soft policy manner, and they are able to influence the countries, and all those things happens when this disaster happens. So this is the impact of globalization, we can say. What is the government policies to encourage diaspora entrepreneurship? So that is the additional learning that we should have. So they brought, the Minister of External Affairs is the main authority body dealing with diaspora community, excuse me. So they It's a nodal ministry for relating to taking care the welfare of the persons of Indian origin, non-resident Indians, and overseas Indians of India. So this has they have brought a lot of remarkable changes. The mission to to establish a robust and vibrant institutional framework to facilitate support mutually beneficial networks. So the Overseas Indian Facilitation Center was established to provide a single window information access to non-resident Indian entrepreneurs. So the Council of Prominent Overseas Indians, industry leaders, and senior policymakers of the government governs the councils and everything. So this with the active supports of its knowledge partners and getting people from firms are specializing in areas of foreign investment, consulting, regulatory approvals, joint venture partner identification, and everything. So these are the when you talk about the policy reforms. So Indian government for past 10 years brought a lot of changes in the policies. So, privacy, Bharatiya Divas, I may not be well good at pronouncing the Hindi terms, but BBD. So, this pulls various people from various across countries to come and have a kind of conference, ventures, and everything. So, this convention provide a platform to overseas Indian community to engage with the government and people of the land and their ancestors to our mutual beneficial activities. So this is the one way where you find a lot of engagement with the people and leads to the investment in entrepreneurial activities. And we have seen this most of these existing engagement in the diaspora community. What areas they are engaged much. So these are what are the major sectors that we need to understand. So entire constellation of diaspora entrepreneurship observed in five major sectors. One is education, healthcare, IT, infrastructure, energy, environment. So they are invest much on education. Okay, they start schools, colleges, and many after liberalization set up new ventures in IT and healthcare, and this has evolved during span of time. And the foreign direct investment as a concept looks usual for investments in India, but with specific revenues the references, the diaspora entrepreneurship, there are something available which needs to be addressed carefully. So we see that there are a lot of people invest on this area. So Indian healthcare professional, particularly nurses, reached almost all parts of the world. You see in Singapore, especially, lot of nurses are from Indian community. So Indian healthcare professionals are high in US, and uh, these Indian healthcare professionals. And other NRIs and have already made a valuable contribution to their homeland by establishing different healthcare industries. Like we have given example, Apollo Hospitals Enterprise Limited, Doctors Z India Healthcare Private Limited, Transnational Healthcare Sciences and Technology Institute, and these are the various healthcare institute which played a vital role in past few decades. So Indian healthcare sector entrepreneurial activities can be facilitated through broadly two ways. First way are direct investment by different diaspora-driven organizations. Second, the one is knowledge diaspora through different mode of communication such as telemedicine, teleconsultation, etc. So people in big hospitals they get a kind of medicines or something from across the globe for a kind of big treatment. So Indians need not to go and get treated for some operations in US or something. So you see this in 1980s or early 1990s. People, especially the very rich people, if they are critically ill, they go abroad, especially they go to US and get treated. But it is remarkably reduced because of all the establishments are in India. So they are able to get all the facilities in India, all the mechanisms and everything. And in emergency, they are able to get the products from other countries. This is because of the diaspora investment in healthcare. And when you talk about the immigrants of Indians in 19th century, so in Africa and Mauritius and other countries, they consider mainly on indentured labor. So, however, they able to establish the entrepreneurial activity. So So we have a lot of IT sectors where they have invested. So, for example, investment diaspora entrepreneurs in Indian information technology, WNS Global Services, and many Indian professionals are not prepared to return permanently to their country of origin, but at the same time, worldwide, would like to contribute to the Indian IT sector development, like such as Silicon Valley IT professionals. So they able to develop the invest on this. So and more than that, they are able to start a associations in other countries like Tamil Association in North America, Telugu Association in US, and North American Telugu Society, and Equal Vidyalaya Foundation, Bihar Brains, and many other Indian diaspora organizations in abroad. So these are the some of the contribution. And as per the existing foreign direct investment policy, NRIs and peers are allowed to invest directly up to 100% in any Indian company in the housing real estate sector without any approval. So they're able to invest. If 50 crores is needed, they can invest 50 crores. The NRIs can invest 50 crores without any much regulatory. And FDA policies through an overseas entity into companies in real estate sectors as per the terms, they are able to invest in the real estate sector too. And so there is Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, and industrial policy promotion all are soothing the investments from the foreigners. So they are able to uh, they are able to invest much on the commercial premises, hotels, resorts, hospitals, educational institutions, which were previously were much restricted. Now it is open after the globalization and yearly to 21st century. And these, when we look into the entrepreneurial activities, these are the very important aspects when we are need to understand the concept of entrepreneurial. So uh, I hope this might have given certain learning on the entrepreneurial aspects of the diaspora community. So we learned about the conceptualization of diaspora entrepreneurship, which is in the understanding level. What is entrepreneurship? What is diaspora entrepreneurship? The difference of entrepreneurship, types of entrepreneurship, and the cultural linkage or ethnic linkage in entrepreneurship activities from diaspora community, and how the globalization has impact, and government policies to encourage diaspora entrepreneurship, which is wide open now for the investment, and the existing engagement of the analysis of major sectors. So the diaspora community more in the beginning investing on IT sectors, and now it has improved to the education, healthcare especially, and housing and commercial activities. So due to the policies which has opened to people, and the FDI, the foreign direct investments, has little limitations nowadays. So people are even 100% they can invest on it. So this is what the diaspora investment and entrepreneurship which is happening, which is evolved. I can say that in Indian diaspora community, among Indian diaspora community. So when we summarizing about this, we need to understand that this diaspora investment on entrepreneurship, it is not only developing the homeland as well as the hostland. So this entrepreneurship takes place in the hostland as well as homeland, bringing the various verticals into business, like starting from the cultural activities, and starting on the exchange, the connecting between the firms, education sector, and R&D, research and development, much over the normal business development, that is which is the entrepreneurs, the diaspora community starting their own business based on their interest or necessity. Some people start a business, at least they employ themselves, and we must be the existing engagement, existing government policies. So the bottlenecks are being removed, and the policies are soothing the and encouraging the